Hello and welcome to the Dr. Mumbi Show. My name is Dr.MumbiSeraki. How you doing? How's everything going? I really do pray that you are well in all your ways and that you are moving into living life truly on your own terms. We want to thank every single person that supports us on our PayPal and our Patreon accounts. We couldn't do this show without you. Thank you so much. Thanks to everyone that has subscribed. Please check that you haven't been unsubscribed and make sure you hit that notification button so that you know every single time we upload a new episode. We're reporting live and direct from the foothills of Mount Zion, and there's absolutely so much going on the continent. And this story was actually quite shocking, where now they're claiming that the deposed president of Mali, Boubacar Keita, I think that's his name, he has been taken unwell. That's what the reports are saying. And the thing is, a lot of these presidents, these puppet presidents, have not built up the local hospitals. They've not built up their own health network. So whenever they fall sick, they always have these Mzungu doctors or they're flown out. And that's what exactly this article was saying. I was just like, it's so sad that it's so sad that people, they don't even hide it, because they were saying, there's a lot of concern now with the fact that, he can't be airlifted, but for the 10 days that he was held by the military coup leaders, although some Malians have gotten in touch with me and said, they're not military coup leaders, but they're actually part of the amazing revolution. There's a revolution going on in Mali, and they claim that, Western media is actually trying to taint the image of the revolution and make it sound like it's going one way, because the Mzungus control the mainstream media, and unfortunately that's where a lot of us get our information from, and we don't seem to understand that it's a massive PR stunt. So the 75-year-old's health actually deteriorated after he was detained for 10 days in a prison in Mali. He is now in a private clinic in the capital, but they're so used to going to the West to get treatment. And he was ultimately released late last week, actually, and taken home, where he has remained under military surveillance. But concerns have actually mounted on the former leader's state of health during his time in military custody. He was allegedly held in the barracks at Kati. They're saying they don't know what was done to him, etc., etc. But he is, however, no longer interested, allegedly, according to reports, in staying in power. Although he did have 3 years left to his term. But now he's been ousted, and they're saying that, his present condition is not quite known, and it was unclear whether he would be evacuated abroad for medical treatment given the circumstances. These presidents, now this is when they're going to suffer for not investing in their health care, in the national healthcare systems, and instead using that money and stuffing it in the West instead of helping their own people. So, and what's really happening? Do you think he's trying to escape? Could he be trying to escape maybe the justice that's coming? Because it looks like the French hand has been brought down in Mali, and that is a sign to come for the rest of West Africa. France has been basically shaken and kicked out of power. That's what they're saying. Some are saying the U.S. were behind it. The U.S. are claiming the Russians were behind it. But definitely it's not business as usual on the African continent. And the fact that Mali is now undergoing this revolution, it really puts in jeopardy everything that France was doing in the Sahel desert. And it's absolutely amazing because, they have been destabilizing that region for at least 9 years, or at least since 2013, but if not longer. And this, the Sahel region, and Mali is kind of the base of that operation. I wonder what's there. That's what I would want to know, what's really there. And Mali is absolutely key to the Sahel region. And if France loses its stronghold on Mali, then basically it's going to topple, the strength of France in West Africa will topple. And I really do believe that we are seeing the beginning of the end of French occupation in West Africa. Let me know what you think about this story. Of course, we wish President Keita a quick recovery so that, he may face any charges that may come up against him, if there will be any charges. Let me know what you think in the comments. Until next time. Tuko pamoja. Hello and welcome to the Dr. Mumbi Show. My name is Dr. MumbiSeraki. How you doing? How's everything going? I pray you're well in all your ways and that you are living your best life. We're back in Nairobi, rainy Nairobi, after an amazing journey through the Gambia. It has just transformed us in so many ways. I've seen a lot of you talking about the Stoneman interview that I just released. We've been talking with Stoneman, and he was actually thinking of doing a possible Stone Festival in the Gambia. Amazing! So definitely stay tuned for that. We're going to be looking at ways and means. We'll be letting you know because a lot of people have said they want to get in touch with him, they want to see him, they want to meet him. We don't want to overwhelm him, but we definitely are taking steps. We have taken the necessary steps to make sure that he's protected, he's safe, and we're going to be giving you more information because he is one of the very first ancients that has come out at this time to share such a valuable message. Now, so much is happening in West Africa. We've seen all of a sudden, the West African nations have said they're moving their money and from the French reserves. We've seen all of a sudden the ECO has been accepted. So which makes me think, was Kemi Seba right? Or is it Kemi Seba, the West African activist, when he said that France is behind the ECO? Because it's just happening it's just too simple. So there was like this press conference between Macron and the Cote d'Ivoire president, and they made this announcement. But I was just like, this is just too good to be true. And then at the same time, France has also deployed armed drones in the Sahel region. And this is the first time this has ever happened. What is going on? So, this was announced by the ministry or the minister of the military or whatever. I don't know what she calls herself. Something like that. She's called Florence Parly, French defense minister. And she basically announced that the French military had deployed armed drones in Africa's Sahel desert as part of its 7-year fight against Boko Haram. Now, this comes barely a few months after Nigeria actually accused France of aiding Boko Haram by providing them with food and medical assistance through the French international humanitarian agencies. You may have seen that story here where we talked about some of the I think there was some humanitarian agencies that were actually shut down. I can't remember them off the top of my head. Sorry, guys. They were actually shut down because they were aiding. And then when you looked at them, they were international humanitarian agencies based in France. And if this information is true and authentic, then serious decisions need to be made by West African nations